Okay, so we're here for another pre-match preview ahead of the Chesterfield game in the league. A very important game for us, and before another very important game, Northampton away. So, Chris, how important was your last win catapulting you into the next two features? You have Chesterfield, then you have Northampton, two games. Very important in the whole look at the league.
Yeah, naturally off the back of the defeat to get back to winning ways as soon as possible, which was the next game. So hugely important that we did that. But any win's important, isn't it? It gets us back on a winning run, and we've got two huge games coming up, two must-win games. That's what they are. They're not, we're at a stage of the season now where it's not a case of we can get a point here and get a point there and see. I think we need to win. So we need to win every single match to get to where we want to be. Sunday gives us a great platform. I thought it was a great performance for 80 minutes. Really, really good performance. And I'm hopeful that will catapult us, like you say, into Sunday, focusing on Sunday first, into Sunday. They're coming off the back of a high with the last-minute equaliser at Northampton. And ultimately, off the back of the League Cup defeat to us, they won't want to come and get beat again. So it feels like similar circumstances to the game when we played them in the league at the start of the season. We'd played them twice before, beat them third time round, not going to want to lose 3 on the bounce. And, the second game that we beat them was a cup final. So this feels very similar. They need to win to stay in the running for winning the league. We need to win. The last game we played each other was a heavy defeat for them. They're coming off the back of a really good draw, so it's got all the makings. We're coming off the back of a good performance and win. It's got all the makings to be a really, really good game.
Okay, a couple of weeks ago, we spoke about the Northampton game being season defining, but after the result that you just said, Northampton Chesterfield ending in a 2-2 draw, is it possible that these 2 weeks may now be the season defining weeks, like you said a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, they will be. It'll either be over or Northampton's to lose. Because regardless of whether we win the next 2 games or whether Chesterfield beat us and then we draw Northampton, it's still Northampton's to lose. If everyone wins their games in hand and all the rest of it, they're still a point clear. So the next 2 weeks are massive. The top 3 of the top 4 playing each other. Obviously, last week we've got Chesterfield, then Northampton. Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. And it's what you're in football for, isn't it? These sort of games, big games that are season defining, that are going to decide whether you finish close or far enough away to, for it to be over by the end of March.
Okay. And what were you feeling when you saw that last minute goal? Obviously you just got through to the semi-finals in the League Cup, and then you see that Chesterfield have done you a huge favour, and we knew that someone else had to do us a favour in getting that goal. What were you feeling?
Yeah, I mean, look, we left the Northampton game knowing that we had a big uphill task and we needed someone to do us a favour. We still need someone to do us a favour. That's still the case. Even if we win in the next 2 weeks, we still need someone to do us a favour. But it helps. It helps. It naturally helps Chesterfield's cause to stay up and in and around it. It helps our cause. So we're focusing on ourselves, but ultimately, even if we do everything that we can do, and Northampton don't drop points anywhere else, it's still their title to lose. So it makes things interesting. But the games between the 3 teams have been, from what I've seen, really good games. We got beat by Chesterfield 2-1. They've drawn with Northampton. We beat Chesterfield, with a really good second half performance. The Northampton game between us and us and them was really nip and tuck. So it's got all the makings to be a really exciting end to the season. It's got really. I won't say any if. It's just got a really exciting end to the season.
Okay,
which is great.
All right, and then speaking on the Chesterfield game, despite losing one of the two games that you played against them this season, does your team's performance against them in those two games, even in the loss, we did seem to be the more in control team. Does it give you confidence heading into this game?
We'll approach Chesterfield as we do every time. It's a bit of a reset. We know they're good. And it's weird that the year when COVID curtailed the season to start with, we only played each other once. It feels a little bit like Chelsea, Liverpool of late. We play each other every time there's a big game come around. So yeah, they know about us. We know about them. We will prepare clean slate, ready to go and put in a good performance and hopefully get the win, as I imagine that they will do as well. So look, I always say I'm confident as long as we impose ourselves and play our game. If we do that, we've got a really good chance of winning.
Okay, and are there any squad updates? Who's available? Who's out injured? Have we got Chloe Brock Taylor and Demi back in the squad?
Yeah, both back. Amelia back available. Amy Nelson back available. The only injury concern still is Tracy, but from understanding, she's having some treatment on that. It turns out it's a cyst in the back of in the muscle in the back of her knee. So there's some treatment on that, and hopefully that will subside enough to maybe we might see Tracy at some point before the end of the season, which would be great. But ultimately, other than that, full availability, no injuries, ready to go in and put in a really good performance, I hope. But we had no Demi and Chloe Brock Taylor on Sunday, and what a performance the team put in. Thought Holly Lewis was fantastic. Heather Gardner was fantastic. The whole team, and I point out those two individuals because they ultimately sort of play in the positions of the two that weren't there, but the whole team was fantastic, and Chloe and Demi are huge players to not have. We welcome them both back, and yeah, we're really looking forward to Sunday's game.
How much have you guys missed Tracy? I mean, her coming back is a massive addition if she does, when she hopefully does in the future. How much have you guys missed her during the season?
Yeah, we have. I mean, I think people will look at the strikers and go, "We're still scoring goals," and that is absolutely true. We are still scoring goals, despite maybe how January felt. We are still scoring goals, and plenty of them. But Tracy's game is completely different to any other striker that we have. Her understanding of the game, her experience, she's just a huge asset for us, a massive, massive asset for us. And we have missed her because obviously last year we didn't have Lucy so much, and Lucy was injured at the start of the season. But we'd seen, haven't we? We'd seen the trio with Tracy, Abby, and Lauren, and what that was like, and the understanding that they both had and how they played. So we have missed Tracy hugely. It might not look that way from a goals perspective, or we've struggled to win games. That's not what I'm saying, but just the quality that she brings in terms of linking play up and being that focal point striker for Abby and Lauren and Lucy to all get around and play off. We have missed her. And we look forward to hopefully having her back, pretty soon. Fingers crossed.
Thank you very much, Chris.
But just before we finish, obviously we know this is the last one for you, obviously, because you're going to Sky. Just on behalf of me and everyone at Lincoln United Football Club and the women's team, just a massive, massive, massive thank you for everything you've done for us. Your commitment, enthusiasm, and professionalism and everything you've brought to us from off the pitch in terms of these previews, the stuff you do off the pitch, Twitter, all the videos that you've done for the club. You'll be missed tremendously, and we thank you very, very much for it. You're going to be a very difficult person to replace. So just a huge thank you.
Thank you very much.